The mirror still stares back, etched with the salt on my cheek, though no tears wet it. I'm here, a man clad in a suit that mirrors the walls of my childhood home, though these walls now hum with something else. They call me insane fool. Dad says I'll never land a job, Mom says my palms sweat like storms, Aunt Clara says I've turned my hands into rust, but this is my proof. My proof etched in the blood and salt of those who tried to erase me, it thrums beneath my fingers. They say I abandoned my dreams, you say I birthed something impossible, always have, but do they remember what I buried? The town waved me away at my graduation, not because of failure but because I wore my aspirations like a tunic too tight for skin. College classmate Eli laughed, voice like cracked porcelain. The ocean's too greedy, he said, sliding a grain board across the table. Your idea's dead by tomorrow. Years slipped by like kelp until I found the water's edge where the sun bakes salt, where scales can grow faster than lies. They thought my salt strung like a blade. Now it carves channels in stone, channels that feed the sea. Look closer, the vent farms. The vents we taught them to fear that they're cursed, that their shallow nets drown them first. But I've taught them resilience. Resilience Eli called it, I'd had them hate it enough. The day I stood on that rooftop watching the first friars puff like firecrackers on stilts, I knew, not to please, not to redeem. To remember they arrived to inspect the fields. The family sits at their ancestral oak, roots knotted like old secrets. Dad clenches his jaw, eyes darting. Mom crosses herself. Elena stares at her grandson, younger than her son anymore, tracing the same path I once carved into the dunes. The air hums with the memory of my childhood dreams, the lush jungles, the laughter that once filled the lab. Now there's only the whisper of wings as I pore over what's been hidden, now vast. Anna, they say, voice rough as gravel, your father called me monstrous asterisk. A scream splits the silence. Eli stands, fists clenched. The elders lean forward not to question but to see the way his daughter clutches her daughter's hand, older than both of us as if grounding us. Then Dad's rage spills out, not anger but certainty. I never wanted this. I take their hands, Eli's grip is harder than I feared. Mom exhales a sound like tearing leaves. You gave us a path, he murmurs. Real one. The revelation hits like a submersible dropping. The old shame, the useless shame. He holds me while Eli explains, the vent farms require precision, the tides demand respect. Survival isn't random, it's knowing when to cling, when to yield. His father's words haunt me, failure was his ghost. But how do you explain this? How do you say you underestimated depth when the truth is buried deeper than the seabed? I teach them now, in labs, in kitchens, in conversations that crack open hidden chambers. They call me mad unreliable, but here they see the man they rejected and the ocean becomes a teacher, this vast, unyielding teacher. Months pass, the fields grow. The town murmurs how I've stumbled back into old habits, sedentary, complacent, but I return, back to the lab, back to the vents, back to the way stars flicker through the cracks in the walls. The family doesn't thank me, they don't forgive. Yet they listen, to their secret hunger, the way I've turned their scorn into scaffolding for their children's hopes. That one day when the mayor arrives presenting evidence of my work, he won't be the voice of ridicule. He'll stand there tracing dirt on his face, a boy who once called me a threat, now a man who showed them the cost of their fear. Mom will visit, and for once she doesn't mock the silence filling the room. Eli brings his mother and that woman kneels, her hands trembling not out of shame, but recognition, a lifetime of invisibility acknowledged. I sit cross-legged on the dock, watching the sky turn into a canvas of auroras. They say dreams die down into soil, yet here I'm still dreaming though the world's silent. No tides that pull, no debts that bind, I carry the weight of their silence, my way to bridge what wasn't there before, I see it now. The darkness I chased to light the path they thought was impossible because I wasn't ready. So yes, the world still sees the boy they rejected, but let them see what we built instead, the reef, the food, the future whispered to them by hands that refused to suffocate it. They don't need forgiveness, they need proof, and here I am holding mine, letting it sink into the deep where roots know truth, enduring, because after all, failure isn't final, sometimes it makes you stronger. After all, even monsters have to grow branches from thorns. The karma's ledger closes with a whisper, some paths are written in the stars, not the soil, the tide has outrun yours. I am not sorry. I am not here to apologize, I am here to watch the horizon, a quiet promise that the impossible, once tamed, will always return.